Another week of explosive testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs federal sex trafficking trial. Prosecutors calling witnesses to try to corroborate Cassie Ventura's testimony about abuse at the hands of an often violent Diddy. A former personal assistant, going by the name Mia, telling the jury about Diddy's abuse of both Cassie and allegedly also herself.
It also corroborates Cassie Ventura's testimony. We've heard from several witnesses now that they've personally seen that Combs abused Cassie.
Today, Mia returning to the stand as Diddy's defense team tries to chip away at her testimony. And witness after witness with bombshell testimony this week in the Diddy trial.
Yeah, joining us now to break it all down is New York City trial attorney David Schwartz and entertainment and lifestyle reporter Jasmine Simpkins, who has been covering the trial. Thank you both for being here. David, let's go ahead and begin with you. What are prosecutors trying to show with this week's witnesses and basically former staff members of Diddy's?
Well, they're trying to show that he's the most horrible person in the entire world. This is a despicable human being that's involved with everything from just the worst type of domestic abuse anyone could imagine. He's involved with rape. He's involved with just the horrible sex acts. But the question becomes, can they prove a racketeering conspiracy case? That's the question. They certainly have proven that he's a horrible, despicable human being, but I'm not sure they've made it there yet.
Well, David, a lot of people who are courtroom observers who have been reading the transcripts and those who have been in the case in the courtroom itself this week saw that around midweek there was a pivot point where the prosecutors started to prove their case in the racketeering when they started getting several different witnesses on the stand. Did you not see that?
No, it's too loose right now. Racketeering was meant for mob cases where you had real connections between parties, committing acts in furtherance of a crime, which were part of the whole racketeering scheme in the first place. Here we have, there's certainly an enterprise. There is an organization. He certainly has people doing things for him that are criminal in nature. But the whole conspiracy and whether or not this group of people are working together to form this criminal enterprise, I'm not sure they've made it there yet. They've certainly proven many underlying crimes like rape, and they've sexual assault and abuse, but I'm not sure they've made it there yet. The sex trafficking is certainly something that they're close to proving, and certainly bringing prostitutes over state lines. That's something that they have proven, that crime.
Jasmine, are you there with us? Hi, welcome.
Hi.
Let's start with you. We're hearing from a lot of former employees of Diddy this week in court. Are you by any chance surprised, being that you've interviewed Diddy many times, that these people who are making these claims, and some who have even said they've been sexually assaulted by him, then go on to work for him for many years, even up to 8 years?
Yeah, it's very shocking. Some of these faces I've seen over the years. Capricorn Clark is someone who had worked for him for a very, very long time. And so to hear her detail the things that she went through during the time that she worked for Diddy was very shocking, to be honest, because she always seemed like she was so excited, always seemed like she was, a happy employee, and as the defense pointed out, continued to work for him multiple times. And they even showed where she was asking to come back to be employed. So if she was someone who was so disgruntled, fearful, all the things that she claimed, why she wanted to continue to work for him. And so I think we've been just as shocked hearing these allegations from the stylist to Mia, who's also an assistant who's testifying today. They said she'll be back on Monday to finish her cross. So very shocking to hear these allegations.
And Jasmine, you're very, very immersed in the entertainment world. What's the scuttlebutt among the entertainment industry folks that you're talking with on any given day about how this trial is developing and all the revelations that we're learning from it?
I think one of the things that people have instantly done, especially if they have a celebrity status or if they know they have attended a party of Diddy's or are acquaintance of his, they've tried their best to distance themselves, especially if they're asked by any of us journalists, over the last 2 years, it's come up. Have you been to a freak off? Have you been to a white party? And a number of folks have said, no, they didn't know about this. I think what we're realizing during this trial is that this was some private behavior that he had, and only a small circle of people knew about this dark underworld that he was involved in and this lifestyle that he was into. But a lot of his friends and a lot of the people in the entertainment industry, I think, are just as shocked and just as tuned in to this trial as all of us are. They're interested to know, especially if they've worked with him or have partnered with him on projects. They're trying to understand, when was all of this happening, because you would see him out and about working and doing appearances. And while he seemed like he was very serious and he was about his work, and we all know his Black excellence mantra, I don't know that anybody really knew that we were going to be hearing about this type of lifestyle to this degree.
David, back to you. Especially today, we've been hearing from Mia, the defense cross-examining her, really trying to show kind of the opposite of what she painted as far as Diddy on the stand, accusing him of, sexual assault, abuse, and things like that. But then going on to make social media posts that were very friendly about him, referring to him as her best friend. What do you think the defense's strategy is with cross-witnessing?
Well, certainly the defense is consent, right? So, these witnesses all consented to this activity. They were part of it. They were part and parcel with these dark incidents and dark parties and assault and prostitution. It was a very dark world. And all the witnesses that saw Ventura just being abused all these years, they were just bystanders watching all of this happening. Yeah, they're testifying now in court, but all those years that they were just bystanders watching this. So I think the tent was pretty wide open as to people knowing of this behavior and knowing what he was doing, but no police reports were filed,
right,
or else we would be here on a rape case, right? We wouldn't be here on an enterprise corruption case, a racketeering conspiracy.
And Jasmine, there were a couple of names that got revealed during the jury selection, and it really perked our interest. We heard Michael B. Jordan, we heard Jay-Z, when some potential witnesses named those names that were on a list. They weren't supposed to at the time. This week, we got a little bit of context to all of that. Talk about that.
So Michael B. Jordan specifically was someone whose name came up. It came up during testimony from Cassie. She dropped that bombshell that Diddy had accused her at one point of starting up a relationship with him, but she didn't really go into detail. Deontay Nash, who was her stylist, he explained that he introduced Cassie to Michael B. Jordan, and that, it was a lull in her relationship with Diddy, and thought that the two of them should hook up. Interestingly enough, we were in Los Angeles. We were in the proximity of a party that Diddy was throwing in 2015 at Boa Steakhouse. It was an after party for the BET Awards. Michael B. Jordan is turned away. At the time, they told us that the party was at capacity. A lot of paparazzi got photos and videos, and we were one of the people that got that. And so a lot of the details around some interesting things that were happening, we're now getting more context to as this trial is going on. Jay-Z obviously is a great friend of Sean Combs. They've been friends for many, many years growing up in New York City. So his name has come out. I think because a lot of people wonder, well, how much did Jay know? They seem like they're confidants, and they've been in the music industry, two high-level entertainers in this business. Mm-hmm. What does he know? Capricorn brought his name up.
Interesting, indeed. Get the backstory and all of that. Jasmine there, thank you. David, really quickly, who won the week?
Well, again, innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So until the prosecution does it, they keep losing the week, although they're winning in the court of public opinion and showing how horrible this person